Hello guys and welcome to episode 2 of What If Civilization Started Over. In the last episode we saw the red team get beaten back by all these rebellions and eventually pushed down to this area. And in the last episode I hinted at it being split into two, which is exactly what's going to happen right now. We see the peach team rebel over here, which over here, in case you haven't watched the first episode, go watch it, otherwise this will be spoilers. But this peach team used to be the pink team that got killed by the red team. But now they've come back and they're way stronger. And they're fighting against the weaker red team. So they easily win. And now the red team is even smaller. Dun dun dun. Anyway, the blue team, this doesn't have to do with the blue team, but I guess it kind of does. The blue team's people, some people get lost in the sea looking fishing, and they end up on the tip of Cuba. Yeah, Cuba. And they decide to abandon the blue team and form their own country on Cuba. And I still haven't fixed that island, but no one actually gives it poo-poo head. So yeah, we're going to form this country over here. They're going to quickly take over the rest of the island, and they're going to be known as Cuba. What the hell else would you want me to call it? So it's going to be Cuba. They're going to island hop around the areas. They're going to get Jamaica, they're going to get Haiti, and they're going to get a few islands in the Bahamas. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to colonize it all. All of it. So now we have a nice Caribbean nation. Happy. So yeah, now we have a world map with this country in it. Next up, we're going to see the yellow team is going to continue to explore down this area. And eventually they're going to stop on this area. And they're going to report their findings to the yellow leader. Who was not really surprised because, it's just more land to colonize. He's going to explore more. And so is the green team actually. They're going to explore down here. They're going to go around the coast. And then they reach what we call the Amazon rainforest. They can't explore much further down there. So they have to continue down here. And down here is where we see our third country in South America form. Which will be here. It's going to be this colour. They just want to be independent, they don't really have anything important. They just want to be here, So yeah. Next up we're going to have a war starting up against the gold team. I'm just going to call this the gold team. And the blue team over this area over here. They want it really badly. So what they're going to do is fight over it. Blue team is going to start their first counter-offensive, easily taking the city and going over here. But the gold team hasn't even mobilized their military yet. So they go over here, and they even have the first form of a navy. Sitting in their boats over here, ambushing the country from behind. That will lead to the blue team's collapse. But what we see here is a third party country, which is the green team. They're going to invade in. And the gold team, and they're not going to expect this. They're going to take over all of this. And now the green team is way bigger. So the yellow team, feeling threatened, is going to expand outwards, meeting up with this team. And they're just going to expand out a bit more. So now it looks something like this. Anyways, now we're going to see the blue team. They're going to expand upwards here. I don't know why that yellow dot's there, just ignore it. It's going to explore around Mexico, and they're going to fill in the in-betweens. Pretty sure lots of this area over here is jungly, so they're not going to explore much into that. But they are going to go around the coast. I'm just going to go up the coast, man. What else do I say? They are going to go a little bit in the jungle, but they don't see much of a point in going in there. So yeah, they just go in there. But a small group of people decide that the jungle could actually be beneficial. So they go in there, and I guess they'll discover something fruit, like a fruit or something. So they decide to establish a nation and sell this fruit. They go back over here, but when they try to plant their fruits here, it doesn't work. So they realize it can only be planted into the forest. So yeah, they decide to set up a nation inside of the forest. The blue team is now decided that it wants to start its conquest into the Mexican area. So they're going to do exactly that. They're going to go all the way past here, they're going to go over here, and eventually they're going to meet up with the brown team. And they're going to sell fruits to them. And this fruit's going to be really tasty, so the blue team's going to buy more and more, improving the brown team's economy and stuff. But they don't tell them the secret of the fruit, so when they try to plant it, it doesn't work. So they get confused. But they decide not to care much about it because they could just buy it for money. Now the blue team has expanded massively. Massively. Cool. Going to continue to explore up here. And with the brown team's really expanded economy, they're going to be able to expand all across the jungle and get loads of fruits and stuff. This country's going to be thriving in terms of economy. So much apparently that a rebellion is going to start up in this area, declaring independence. Yeah, just going to declare independence. They're going to snake their way down here. Eventually they're going to stop here. But what they didn't know is that it was funded by the brown team, and the brown team is now attacking them because they knew it would be weaker. War tactics. So now they have this giant landmass. Now what's left of the green team is over here. So they're going to set up a colony in Baja California. I think that's what it's called. And they're going to connect up, they're going to explore outwards a bit, and they're going to reach the main part of North America, I'd say, because this is like the Central American parts and stuff, if you get what I mean. They're going to set up a little sort of colony over here, and it's going to be basically split in two. Connect up here, and now we have an epic green team. So now we have 3 giant empires over here, and now we're going to go back over to the green team. We've seen how much the yellow team has expanded. They're also going to expand down into the peninsula. I don't know. So eventually, their borders look something like this. The green team has declared themselves as a very strong country. Boom. Next up, we're going to see the blue team has gotten a union with the pink team and this country. And the red team is very mad because they thought maybe they could take it back in the future. So what they're going to do is go to the green team and say, you can have all of this territory if you help me in a war against the blue team. And the green team is going to be like, sure, why not? So the red team is going to declare war on the blue team. And with help with green soldiers, it's going to go all the way back up here and nearly take over the Yucatan Peninsula, cutting it off. But the blue team army is not something to be punched around with. They're very strong and they managed to make an encirclement and push it back to around this area. So now the blue team looks something like this. Next up, in the peace treaty, we see that the green team takes all of its deserved lands, and the red team now looks something like this. Jesus, they're being pushed around a lot. The yellow team, seeing that the green team is partially weakened, is going to try and declare war on them. They're going to snake up the Darien Gap and encircle the troops. And the red team is just going to betray the green team and re-invade back into the area. And now the green team is about to get pushed out of the Panamanian area, and that's exactly what happens. They're going to have a massive war around here, and it seems like the yellow team's going to get a victory until we see this country join the war, and they take all of this land. Now the green team is like thinking, nice, now we're gonna win. But the green team just wanted to take this land and leave, so yeah, the green team is actually cooked. They go over here, they took over this area, and now we see a rebellion over in this area over here. The reason of this rebellion is due to the fact that they've been mistreated by the green team, like slaves and stuff from this area. So they want to rebel and stuff, you know. And then we have a different government type of thing showing up over here, and they say that they can make the country better again. They can make it better. So our country looks something like this. And now I'm going to make a peace treaty. But before the peace treaty, we see the brown team invades the blue team. Dun, 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 dun. They're going to invade all the way over here. Eventually they're going to get stopped here and they're going to ask for peace with the blue team. And the blue team has to say yes, otherwise they'll get invaded. So now we can actually take a look at the peace treaty. In this peace treaty, we see that over here, the green team somehow still survives on this little tip because they just simply said no to being erased. Meanwhile, the new government is over here, and they're doing way better than before in terms of like friend and economy and stuff. And the slavists, there's Meanwhile, over here, this team doesn't get as much territory as it wanted, but it still got a lot of territory. And over here, nothing much changed. Nothing changed at all, I must say. And that is actually going to be it for episode 2 of What If Civilization Started Over. I'll see you next time, I guess. Yeah.